Esther is surprised to see Chelsea at Crimson Lights, having heard that she had the flu, and notices she's writing about an attack on Newman. Chelsea assures her it's just noise on the internet. Relieved to hear that, Esther walks off, and Chelsea texts Adam to come over. At Sharon's, Noah can see how much pain his father is in and admits he's freaked out about them having Matt in the trunk. Nick tells him he doesn't need to know what's happening next. Sienna eavesdrops as Nick insists no one will talk him out of making Matt disappear. Noah wants to give Matt to the GCPD, but his father snarks at the idea. Noah protests that this is crazy. Is this really his dad talking, or the pills? Nick declares he should have ended this years ago. Nick screams at Noah as Sienna sneaks off. Adam joins his father at the ranch and informs him of the latest counterattack their IT team is going to attempt against the AI. Victor vows he won't let the likes of Ashby destroy what he's built. Victoria joins them, complaining about playing whack-a-mole with the press. It's a feeding frenzy out there. Victor admits they're in serious trouble. Sighing, he considers handing this mess to the authorities. His daughter points out that they could wind up in jail for using the AI themselves. Sienna is allowed in by security and asks for Victor's help. Once Adam and Victoria have gone, Sienna explains to Victor that she's hoping he can stop his son from killing Matt Clark. Victor tells her coming to him was the right choice. Sienna is afraid everyone will get dragged into an ugly mess they don't deserve. She wants the best for Noah and a life with him, but says she can't see staying in Genoa City. She's sure Noah will resent her eventually. Victor thinks she may be right. Back at Sharon's, Noah reminds his dad that he and the Abbotts are now accessories, so he needs to back off on his plans for Matt. He's sure that his father couldn't live with himself if he killed his captive. Sharon comes down, surprised to see Nick there. Noah updates her on Nick nabbing Matt so he can rub him out. Sharon understands the impulse, but isn't on board with this. They can see how much pain Nick is in and want him back in the hospital. Sharon points out he's hardly in shape to finish Matt off. Besides, she's sure he couldn't brush off killing someone. When she thought she'd killed Heather, it ate her alive. Adam and Victoria join Chelsea at Crimson Lights. She tells the siblings how ironic it is that they are now on the receiving end of the kind of press they were recently giving Jabot. She can't spin things forever. They all agree that Victor is looking exhausted, like he's reached his limit. Adam warns Kane could come out on top, and they could all end up with nothing. Victoria worries the stress of the war with Ashby will kill their dad. She's also concerned about what this could do to their kids. The Newman legacy is being stolen from them. Chelsea reassures her. They speculate about why Sienna showed up at the ranch. Victoria complains it's likely the last thing her dad needs, especially after the bullet he took. Switching gears, Adam offers to dial up his deviousness to go after Kane and Phyllis. At Sharon's place, Sienna arrives with Victor. Nick guesses his dad has come to try and stop him. Victor orders Nick to hand Matt over. He'll take care of this. Not this time, says Nick. Victor asks his son not to be stubborn like him. Nick reminds him that Matt has tormented him for decades. He needs to be the one to end this. Sharon warns this will only make Nick feel hollow and ashamed. She's confident Victor can resolve this. When Nick asks his dad what he would do, Victor says it's best that no one knows. Nick wants details, but the others are fine with not knowing. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 3 weeks, January 19th to February 6th, reveal that fans will see Claire Newman's sneak attack while Detective Burrow tackles a new case. Nick Newman also seems to be gearing up for a pill addiction, so Sharon Newman will have good reasons to worry. The week of January 19 to 23 will bring backlash for Billy Abbott, since it looks like he's going to take Kane Ashby up on his chancellor offer. However, Victoria Newman will find a way to strike back along with Sally Spectra, who'll lash out at Billy and corner Kane for a confrontation too. After Jack blows up at Billy next, he'll end up hugging Nikki Newman and infuriate Victor when he catches them together. Victor will also decide Matt Clark's fate after Sienna Bacall alerts him to Nick's grim intentions. We'll see Victor take charge of the situation while Sharon frets over Nick's agony, since his leg injury will bring plenty of pain. The amount of pills that Nick keeps popping could alarm Sharon as well, so stay tuned to see when her addiction fears might start. As for Mariah Copeland, it seems she'll go off the rails and abduct Dominic Newman, Abbott Winters' chancellor. Devin Winters and Abby Winters will reel over Dominic going missing, so it looks like they'll rely on Detective Burrow for help during the week of January 26-30. Jack and Victor will also have to mull over the idea of a partnership soon, since teaming up may be the only way to beat Kane. As for Sally, she may also face a big decision regarding her relationship. Can Sally accept Billy for who he is and tolerate his vengeful side? Or are they on the verge of a split? The week of February 2-6 will no doubt bring more Dominic drama, but let's talk about something happy for a change. Y&R spoilers say Victoria and Nate Hastings will keep inching back into romantic territory, so they may be a couple again soon. Meanwhile, Claire will refuse to give up when it comes to uncovering Audra Charles and Holden Novak's Los Angeles secret. Since Audra is acting cordial as part of her deal with Holden, Claire may pretend too while plotting a sneak attack. Claire will stick with her mission to gain the upper hand on Audra, so we'll see if Kyle Abbott might still be willing to help her. The Young and the Restless spoilers say several storylines are about to heat up on the CBS soap, so stick with us for updates on all the stunning news and exploding tension. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers are both thrilled with their latest accomplishments. These two have finally managed to take down the great Victor Newman. Kane has made a lot of promises to Phyllis, but his next move might be the one that double-crosses her. Will Kane prove that his vendetta is stronger than his loyalty to her? Kane hasn't been lying to Phyllis at all. He has even admitted that he feels sorry for Billy Abbott. Billy is upset over not being included in this, since he wasn't a part of this at all. Kane later called Billy and talked to him and inviting him to a meeting. But where will Kane go from there? Billy eagerly took Kane's call right after making up with Sally Spectra after getting into a fight over Billy getting involved in the first place. Billy wanted to be a part of this takedown after how Victor has attacked him time and again. Will Billy finally be free of Victor and his harassment now? Kane could trying to sit things right with Billy because of the way Jill Abbott sold Chancellor out from under him. After all, one division of Newman has already disappeared thanks to the AI program. Could Kane hand Chancellor back to Billy after all? Will Kane step up and make this right? Does this mean that Billy will accept Chancellor and leave Sally in a lurch once again? Billy has promised Sally that he would be dropping all of this stuff and help her run Abbott Communications. Billy has promised to be Sally's second in command. Sally says she needs Billy to be there for her. Will Billy do the exact opposite now? Victor would lose it if Billy was to get his hands on Chancellor again. Victor bought Chancellor to get to Billy, and he knows that even Nikki Newman would do anything to try to get the company back if Kane did give it away. Would this go back to cause a rift between Jack and Victor once again? Could Nikki manage to let it go and use the company to make things right? Once again, will Victoria Newman, us the company, to get Billy to give the company back to her mother by uses their children against him? Will Billy end up losing Sally if he doesn't walk away? The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates suggest that Nick Newman may be on the verge of a shocking affair. Could Nick's drug issues lead to some romantic upheavals? Not long after Nick regained consciousness post-surgery, he experienced intense pain from his leg injury. His medication dosage was increased, signaling the potential development of a drug addiction storyline. Following the events of the January 15th episode, we are more convinced than ever that Nick is indeed on a path to becoming addicted to painkillers. Nick took some pills and quickly realized he would need a refill soon, yet he hasn't even been out of the hospital for a full day. At this pace, Nick is undoubtedly heading for significant trouble regarding his drug use. Regrettably, this situation could spell trouble for Nick's relationship with Sharon Newman. Even though Nick and Sharon have yet to officially come back together or define their current status, it's clear that they are on a path leading back to romance. Unfortunately, Nick might become so overwhelmed by his dependence on pills that he inadvertently sidelines his relationship with Sharon. This is particularly likely if Sharon picks up on his struggles and feels the need to distance herself. If Nick mismanages this situation, he could find himself seeking comfort in the arms of a completely different woman instead. If that scenario unfolds, there are at least a couple of alternatives to think about. One potential option could be Phyllis Summers, as there exists a fine line between love and animosity. Nick is understandably furious with Phyllis because of her role in Kane Ashby's AI attack on Newman Enterprises, yet sometimes anger can ignite a spark of passion. It's possible that Phyllis and Nick might eventually give in to a compelling attraction that draws them together at some point. Or there could be another, even more destructive scenario. Nick could wind up in bed with Sienna Bacall. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Nikki Newman loves her husband, but also cares about one of her exes, Jack Abbott. That establishes an intriguing triangle that isn't romantic at this point in the plot. Kane Ashby has ill will toward Victor Newman because he smeared his father's reputation, the head of Newman Enterprises, or what's left of it, did that after Colin Atkinson was dead and couldn't defend himself. While Kane doesn't have the same feelings about Jack, he's become as calculating as the man Bergman's character has come to distrust. Add in the Phyllis Summers factor, and the soapy stage is being set for a needed Victor and Jack alliance. Artificial intelligence is the topical straw man and straw woman device that's being used in the storyline. Public fears are tapped by injecting this developing technology into Genoa City, Wisconsin. So, the company Kane built with his father's supposedly stolen money, Arabesque, created an AI program. That, in and of itself, wouldn't be cause for concern. But it's the manner in which Kane intended to employ it that's caused problems. He didn't anticipate Phyllis hacking the AI program and giving it to Victor. That happened, and Braden's character caused Arabesque to rapidly evaporate. Kane's revenge against Victor didn't involve him destroying Newman Enterprises. Instead, he's taken hold of it, and viewers are wondering why Michael Baldwin and the company's other lawyers haven't already responded legally. Suspending disbelief to advance this story, Victor went to Kane's ridiculous train car office and asked him what he wanted to stop the madness. But for Kane, this isn't madness. It's payback and a different way to realize Colin's dream for him. Flynn's quixotic character, which is a different slant on the persona Daniel Goddard first embodied and played through 2019, wants to rule GC. As of now, he is, and this reign could spread well into this new year. Nikki implored her husband to destroy the AI weapon Phyllis gave him, but his ego rejected that sound advice. As the momentary head of Chancellor assumed, Victor's bravado has led to catastrophe. Sharing confidential family intel with Jack will create fireworks during January. But as this emotional thriller plays on, viewers should expect Nikki's mediator role to result in Victor and Jack working toward the same goal. Jabot is safe for the moment, but Jack and Victor will be in the same position if Kane takes the Abbott's family business, and then a needed alliance will make sense to both longtime combatants. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal there are 3 must-see moments for the week of January 19, 2026. Fans can expect trouble for Abby Winters and Devin Winter. Sienna Bacall reports intel to Victor Newman. Plus, Sharon Newman worries about Nick Newman's medical condition. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with Sienna, who was spying on Nick and Noah Newman's private conversation. Noah was asking his father about his plans for Matt Clark, who was in the trunk of his car. Sienna ran off to speak to Victor about it. Then, both of them show up at Sharon's place. Victor previously agreed that Nick needed to be the one to handle Matt. However, now that Victor can see what bad shape Nick is in, he's trying to reason with the man. Nick isn't going to listen, though. Part of it is adrenaline from the situation. The other part of it might be fever-induced psychosis. Nick really looks unwell, and that could affect his decisions. Sharon will worry about Nick's condition. However, he will refuse doctor's orders. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that another must-see moment includes Mariah Copeland. Fans know that Tessa Porter is fed up and plans on filing for divorce. However, once the Matt situation is taken care of, Sharon will want to search for Mariah. Unfortunately, Mariah is under the influence of hallucination Ian Ward. The redhead is doing what the man says, even though she really doesn't want to. The woman has already distanced herself from Tessa and Aria Porter Copeland. However, Mariah has also been reminded of carrying Dominic Newman Abbott Winters Chancellor. That is leading fans to wonder if Dominic could get kidnapped. That will mean chaos and panic for both Abby and Devon. The blonde ended up finding Chance Chancellor during one of his previous death stories. There is no way that Abby will ever give up on finding her little boy. However, it could mean a vicious showdown between Abby and Mariah, so stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of January 19th, 2026? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates suggest that Summer Newman might cut ties with Phyllis Summers following the recent Newman incident. Will Summer choose to end her relationship with her mother's selfish behavior? Is she finally fed up with all the mama drama? Kane Ashby appears less convinced. Kane knows from experience how chasing big business dreams can lead to losing family. That's why Kane wants to ensure Phyllis understands the risks involved in this Newman takeover and the consequences it may bring. Phyllis might push Daniel Romalotti Jr. and especially Summer too far with her recent actions. Summer and Daniel have already forgiven Phyllis for pretending to die, so she seems to believe they will forgive her for nearly anything. A company takeover isn't as terrible as pretending to face a dire situation, which explains why Phyllis believes she can resolve things here. However, Phyllis frequently creates chaos and leaves her children to handle the fallout. This could be a situation where Phyllis has pushed Summer too far, especially since it impacts the whole Newman family. Naturally, Phyllis might argue that dear Grandpa Victor Newman was planning to target Jabot. Since Marchetti is part of the Jaboti group, Phyllis might encourage Summer to realize that Victor is not any better than her. Additionally, Phyllis has every reason to resent Victor indefinitely for his previous actions. Victor placed a criminal look-alike named Marco Anicelli in Phyllis's bed while she was still with Jack Abbott, which was a significant breach of trust. More recently, Victor failed to uphold his agreement with Phyllis, making it clear why she continues to emphasize the notion of karma coming for him. Still, Summer may not share the same viewpoint and could decide to give Phyllis an ultimatum. If Phyllis refuses to back down and attempts to fix this, Summer might promise to cut ties with her. Summer could potentially threaten to end her relationship with her mother, Phyllis, and completely cut off all forms of communication. This could occur through a phone call, or, if Summer chooses, in a direct confrontation with Phyllis at some point in the future. Meanwhile, Nick Newman has been encouraging Summer to return home now that Noah Newman is back in town, which is an important detail to consider. Nevertheless, according to spoilers for The Young and the Restless, it seems that Phyllis may find herself in deeper trouble than she anticipated once Summer receives updates regarding all the unfortunate news. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Y&R right now. Come back here often for The Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 2 weeks suggest some surprises. For one thing, a child gets kidnapped. Kane Ashby is crushed. Also, what is the future for Nick Newman? Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Before getting to the 2-weekers, let's discuss what is coming up from January 19 to 23. Noah Newman came across Nick with an unconscious Matt Clark in the trunk. Noah was trying to find out his father's plan when Victor Newman burst in the door with Sienna Bacall. Everyone can see that Nick isn't in good shape. However, nobody can seem to talk Nick out of taking care of Matt personally. Nick is taking pills to control his agony and pain while dealing with Matt. While he's just trying to make it through to save his family, this could turn into an addiction storyline. Perhaps the pills will have Nick acting really out of character and making some dangerous decisions. Over with Billy Abbott, he will likely take Kane's offer. However, when that happens, Victoria Newman explodes. Not only that, but it seems that Billy's decision leaves Sally Spectra completely blindsided. Yes, again, it might be time for Sally to cut her ties with Billy. Victoria will also have a confrontation with Kane as well as Phyllis Summers. The only thing that could really crush Kane is Lily Winter's continued disappointment. So, maybe Victoria threatens to tell Lily what he's done. There is also Mariah Copeland, who is under hallucination Ian Ward's control. The woman has pushed Tessa Porter and Aria Porter Copeland away. At the same time, she keeps mentioning Dominic Newman Abbott Winter's Chancellor. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for the week of January 26th, reveal that Devin Winters and Abby Winters realize that their son is missing. Abby and Devin will do whatever is necessary to find Dominic. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott and Victor's feud could intensify. They will have to join forces in the near future, but for now, it's war. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. The Young and the Restless, spoilers, reveal that Victor Newman will catch Jack Abbott and Nikki Newman in a compromising position. Victor will spot these exes looking way too close, so he'll definitely have something to say about it. Y&R fans know Victor has been stressed to the max thanks to two different Newman family emergencies. One of them involves the Matt Clark turmoil, and the other involves the AI chaos at Newman Enterprises. Jack wasn't able to strike a deal with Victor, but Nick Newman made one with him instead. In exchange for surrendering Matt, Nick assured Jack that there wouldn't be any more Newman-related threats or attacks. Of course, there's no guarantee Victor will honor that deal, especially after what he's about to witness at the Newman Ranch. Jack will pay a visit to Nikki during the week of January 19th to 23 and pull her into a warm embrace. It looks like Victor will walk through the door at that exact moment and fume at the sight of Jack, with his hands all over Nikki. Victor's jealousy and resentment of Jack will certainly bubble up, so Nikki may find herself struggling to keep the peace. Between this hug incident and Victor's anger over how Jack handled the Matt situation, there'll be plenty of hostility. Victor may ultimately speak with Jack alone, since he's about to deliver a fierce warning to his rival. It's possible Victor will insist nothing's changed, and that Jack can expect to feel his full wrath once the current threat is conquered at Newman Enterprises. Jack may also be ordered to keep his paws off Victor's wife. Victor can be pretty possessive when it comes to Nikki, and definitely doesn't approve of her friendship with Jack. However, Jack and Victor may be surprised by how their relationship is going to evolve as we get a bit further into 2026. Some shocking news is on the way in the coming weeks. The Young and the Restless, spoilers say Victor and Jack will become true allies against Kane Ashby sooner or later, so stay tuned for updates on their looming partnership. The Young and the Restless, spoilers hint that Sally Spectra may sabotage Billy Abbott's deal with a showdown on Kane Ashby's train. Sally was hoping Billy had moved past his vengeful obsession, but it doesn't seem like that was ever really the case. Regardless, Kane is now offering Billy the opportunity to take over Chancellor with no strings attached, so he's obviously tempted to go for it. Sally made it crystal clear to Billy that she doesn't approve of this deal, and that she won't be pleased if it moves forward. Nevertheless, Billy may give Kane a yeah anyway and get ready to make his dream a reality. There's even a chance Billy will push for more if he makes another pitch to Kane. In addition to this free and clear Chancellor deal, Billy might have a proposal involving Newman Media. Billy would surely love to stick it to both Victor Newman and Adam Newman by folding Newman Media into Abbott Communications. It'd give the latter a big boost as they try to get it off the ground. Regardless, Billy's about to make some choices that'll leave Sally stunned, and not in a good way. Sally may realize the situation is even worse than she thought, so it's no surprise that she'll confront Kane and rip into him. Once Sally heads to Kane's train and barges in his office, Y&R spoilers say she'll face off with him. Kane may stand by his claim that Chancellor is a peace offering and act like Sally should be grateful for the gift he's giving her boyfriend. However, Sally may question Kane's true motives and feel like there must be more of an agenda in play. Fans might even see Sally pressure Kane to rescind his Chancellor offer since he's putting a target on Billy's back. There's no way Victor will let Billy get away with this, so Sally will be concerned over what the future holds if this deal is sealed. Unfortunately, Sally may find that there's no positive outcome here. If Kane caves in and rips the Chancellor offer away, Billy will be furious with Sally for ruining things. If Kane digs his heels in, then Sally will still have to worry about Billy's Chancellor fixation and Victor's revenge once he's provoked even further. The Young and the Restless, spoilers say Sally and Kane have some exciting confrontation scenes ahead, so stick with us for updates on all the major corporate news. The Young and the Restless, spoilers and updates indicate that Victoria Newman will receive a warning about a dead body as her dark Newman persona emerges. With Newman Enterprises facing an onslaught, Victoria will come to the realization that it's time to get serious and mount a genuine defense against the chaos. Victor Newman appears to be genuinely shaken by the situation, having witnessed firsthand the capabilities of the AI program. Arabesque was obliterated in just a few days, leading Victor to acknowledge that they might need to start selling off parts of Newman. It must be difficult for Victoria to watch her father so disturbed. Victor is typically several moves ahead in any chess match he plays against his rivals, yet he was caught off guard by the turmoil instigated by Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers. Victor and Nick Newman have already issued some threats during their visits to Kane's train. Y&R spoilers say it'll be Victoria's turn to barge in and cause a scene during the week of January 19 to 23. Kane will be brimming with confidence during his upcoming conversation with Phyllis, who'll love every minute of their continued plot for corporate domination, after Kane gloats about Newman Enterprises and its subsidiaries basically being theirs already. He'll talk about ripping the bandage off and moving ahead with the company takeover. That's when Victoria will come strutting in and declare that it'll happen over her dead body. Victoria will make it clear right off the bat that she means business and that she'd rather face a grim fate than let Kane win. Of course, Phyllis will take this opportunity to get in Victoria's face and gloat about her victory with Kane. Victoria may try to get under Phyllis's skin by questioning Kane's commitment to Phyllis and suggesting he might double-cross her. Whatever the case, Victoria will warn Kane and Phyllis that the Newmans are going to come roaring back. Victor never loses for very long, so Victoria may remind Kane and Phyllis of that soon enough, embracing her fierce Newman roots during this confrontation, and may admit she'll take great pleasure in the revenge plot that's brewing. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Y&R right now. Come back here often for the Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates. Young and the Restless spoilers for John 1923 indicate Phyllis Summers is mocking the Newmans and Billy Abbott joining in. They are definitely ready to dance on their proverbial graves. As we always do on early edition day, we start with what's coming the rest of this week and then dive into what's ahead next week. On Wednesday, January 14th, we've got Sharon Newman checking in with Noah Newman, asking how Sienna Bacall is sleeping. She's exhausted, and Noah can't sleep. He's so upset that Matt almost killed Sienna, and that Nick Newman got hurt. Sharon tries to calm Noah down, but he says he can't until he knows that Matt is behind bars or dead. Tessa Porter shows up to check on Nick and Sienna, and Sharon is surprised to find out Tessa knows Sienna from a tour years back. Noah leaves to check on his lady, while Tessa catches Sharon up on Mariah Copeland bailing on her and Aria Porter Copeland. Mariah left the mental hospital without telling anybody and refused to take their calls on Christmas. Tessa says Mariah's just not getting any better, and she tells Sharon that Mariah doesn't seem to need any of them. Tessa says she only knows any of this because of the family tracking app and tells Sharon she's filing for a divorce. It's over. She can't keep living like this. Sharon thinks something is behind Mariah's behavior. She wants Tessa to give Mariah more time, but Tessa refuses. She says she can't keep telling Aria Porter Copeland that Mama Mariah is coming home when it's not true. Tessa says it's not fair to her and not fair to Aria. Then, she and Sharon hug it out while they are crying. Nick gets a visit from Adam Newman while he's in the hospital. Nick says he feels crappy and the doctors have upped his pain meds. He starts asking about Matt Clark, and Adam says that Jack Abbott and Kyle Abbott have the guy. They wanted to trade Matt for the AI, but Victor Newman didn't make the deal. Nick assumes Matt's in jail, but Adam says, "Nope." Adam mentions that the AI has turned on them, and the family company is being gutted. They think Kane Ashby and Phyllis did it, and Victor has gone to confront them. Nick is frustrated to be bedridden and out of the action. Adam tells him Jack threatened to let Matt go if they didn't hand over the AI. Adam's just hoping Jack will keep Matt locked up because Victor can't hand over the AI. He lost control of it. Nick is very upset about Matt not being in jail and insists that Adam helps him get out of the hospital. Like a good little brother, he does. Meanwhile, Victor confronts Kane and Phyllis about the AI attack. Victor wants to know if Phyllis hacked in or if she had a back door. She just laughs and says Newman Enterprises is theirs, and he cannot stop her or Kane. Victor ignores Phyllis and her taunting and asks Kane what he wants to stop this. Victor offers him Arabesque, the company that he gutted with this same AI. But Kane says Victor has nothing to offer them. He ruined everything Kane and Colin Atkinson worked for and then dragged his family name through the mud in public. Victor decides insulting Kane and Colin is the way to go. Then, Kane offers to sell Victor Arabesque for a cheap price because it's not worth much now. Victor promises payback on them both, but Phyllis says he's already lost. Victor vows that Summer Newman will despise Phyllis for this, and he storms out on Young and the Restless. Victoria Newman tells Nikki Newman that not only is the AI destroying things, but somebody at Newman leaked info to the press, which is making things worse. Nikki says this is all Victor's fault. She begged him to destroy the AI, but he wanted to keep it and use it on Jabot. Victoria seems certain that Victor can make Kane stop, but Nikki doesn't think so because Kane's holding all the cards. Claire Grace Newman shows up and asks what's happening. They tell her about the AI attack and mention that Nick's doing all right. Claire hears that this AI is tearing Newman apart and asks, "Oh, you mean the AI that Victor lied to my face and said he didn't have?" Victoria tries to soften that, but she finally has to admit Victor was going to use it against Jack. Claire is not going to like that at all. They think Phyllis has turned this AI around on them. Victor shows up and says Phyllis and Kane definitely did it and won't make a deal. Assets are disappearing to parts unknown. He tells Nikki and Victoria they may have to start selling off what's left of Newman to save anything. Nikki is horrified and blames Victor because of his vendetta against Jack. She calls his judgment into question. Victor rages at her and blames Damien Kane and Phyllis. Nikki claps back, reminding him she told him to destroy the AI, and none of this would be happening if he had listened. Victor then changes channels and starts ranting about Nikki and Jack. Victoria gets between them just as Nick and Adam come in. Nick is on crutches and looking pretty bad. Adam says his brother refused to stay in the hospital. Nick says he thinks he can stop this and will go talk to Phyllis. He believes she'll listen to him. Meanwhile, Kane and Phyllis are having a drink and talking about having no regrets regarding destroying Newman. On Thursday, January 15th, Nick keeps a secret from Sharon, likely regarding his growing pain issues. Sally Spectra pushes Billy and makes him come clean to her. She knows from eavesdropping on him and Jack that Billy still wants revenge and payback on Victor. Plus, Billy has a meeting with Kane this week. Billy still wants Chancellor and sees an opportunity to get it in this mess. Phyllis has to defend her actions, probably to Nick, who thinks he can talk her out of what they're doing. I guarantee he cannot dissuade Phyllis. He's going to try and threaten her with Summer like Victor did. But Phyllis may remind Nick that Victor was using the AI on C. Kane and Matt and planned to do the same to Jack. Phyllis is going to say, "Look, your dad is the bad guy here, not me." On Friday, January 16th, Noah hears shocking info about Matt. It may be that Victor let the guy go because he wanted to keep leverage for revenge. Plus, Diane Jenkins tries to get info about Victor out of Michael Baldwin. Diane wants all the tea on the Newman drama. Nick goes to Jack for help. I'm sure Nick wants Matt either 6 feet under or locked up. He may also ask Jack to help reason with Phyllis. During the week of January 19th through the 23rd, Sally starts to see that everybody was right about Billy all along. It's one thing after another, and she has a major decision to make soon that may mean trouble for her and Billy's relationship. Victor is under fire from his family and is getting angrier. He's not going to admit he screwed up and will continue to blame Kane and Phyllis. The Newmans are scrambling to save assets, but they may lose a lot before the AI has run its course. Phyllis and Kane are feeling great about it. However, Victor may soon see that he needs Jack to work with him to neutralize the massive threats. We'll see if those two circle around to threaten Jack as well. Finally, Michael Lauren Fenmore's marriage gets rocky over the Newman mess, and Sharon may have a strong reaction when she sees Tessa with Daniel Romalotti. The Young and the Restless spoilers note that Nick Newman could be on the cusp of a pill-popping addiction. Could this be yet another obstacle in a possible romantic reunion with Sharon Newman, the young and the restless, spoilers suggest Nick isn't doing very well. After a horrific encounter with Matt Clark, Nick landed in the hospital. However, instead of waiting for medical professionals to clear him and send him home, he signed himself out early because his family was dealing with a crisis at Newman Enterprises. Kane Ashby's AI software attacked the family's company, and the organization was slowly but surely reduced to nothing. For one reason or another, Nick felt the need to leave the hospital and take matters into his own hands, which was a bad decision considering the state he was in. During the January 14th episode, a rough-looking Nick confronted Phyllis Summers regarding her role in the entire scheme, and they had a nasty conversation. Nick swore he'd turn Summer Newman, and Phyllis refused to back down or apologize for getting the better of Victor Newman. Nick was last seen calling Summer, and the father was hurting from the stress and his car crash accident. He was in terrible pain due to a broken leg and other injuries, and he quickly popped some pain meds, medication that he was running very low on. Before taking his meds, Nick noted he needed more. Could Nick end up getting addicted to painkillers? Nick was very dark during Thursday's show, a very different version of the man Y&R fans are used to seeing. Is he going down a terrible path? Schick fans have been anxiously waiting for the next shoe to drop in a reunion between Nick and Sharon. But with the constant drama the exes have had to face recently, there's been little time for romance. Could a pill-popping addiction become the next obstacle Schick will deal with before they come back together and dive into a new relationship? Will Nick get addicted to painkillers? The stress he's under is insurmountable. Comment below, tune into the CBS Soap Daily, and check out this site often for the best Young and the Restless updates, spoilers, and news. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Monday, January 19th reveals that Sharon Newman will face some alarm bells while Kane Ashby gets targeted and Sienna Bacall makes a sneaky move. At the Newman Ranch, Adam Newman will bring Victor Newman some potentially good news. The IT team will be working on an algorithm designed to make the AI program go after bogus targets, but it'll need more testing. Victor will argue that there's no time for that, so Adam will agree to pass along his approval to use the algorithm right away. Victoria Newman will come along and complain about the struggles of doing damage control. When Victor suggests sending the cops after Kane and Phyllis Summers, Victoria will remind Victor that he used the AI software on Arabesque. If the Newmans bring the authorities in on this, they could be tied up in court for years or even face prison time. At the coffee house, Esther Valentine will spy something about the Newman attack on Chelsea Lawson's laptop, but Chelsea will act like it's just meaningless gossip. Chelsea will eventually text Adam asking her to meet up since all the negative Newman buzz is gaining speed. At Sharon's cottage, Noah Newman will keep pushing Nick Newman to confess his plans for unconscious Matt Clark, who'll still be outside in the car trunk. When Noah worries about Nick killing Matt, Nick will insist no one's changing his mind about making Matt disappear for good. Sienna will eavesdrop on Nick and Noah before turning to Victor for assistance at the main house. After Victoria meets Sienna, she'll head to Crimson Lights with Adam. Adam and Chelsea will be willing to dial up their devious side when it comes to protecting Newman Enterprises. Victoria will do some brainstorming with the duo as they mull over a way to strike back at Kane and Phyllis. Back with Victor, he'll listen as Sienna updates him on what she overheard at Sharon's place. Victor will find out that Nick has unconscious Matt and is threatening to kill him despite Noah's disapproval. Sienna will open up to Victor about her feelings for Noah, but she won't see a long-term future for them. Victor will seem like he's warming up to Sienna a bit, but he'll agree that maybe she should return to Los Angeles after the Matt nightmare concludes. At Sharon's house again, she'll come downstairs and find out the alarming Matt situation as well. Sharon will understand why Nick would want to kill Matt, but she won't like that Noah's involved now and will suggest Nick would be haunted by his actions. Nick will disagree on Monday's Y&R episode, but then Victor will barge in with Sienna and insist he should be the one to handle all this. Victor will push Nick to let him take care of Matt, while Nick gets more medical attention. Sienna, Noah, and Sharon will be on board with that plan, despite Nick's complaints. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Nick will be outnumbered here, so stay tuned to see how Victor will ultimately deal with Matt. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal a preview clip has been released for the week of January 19th, 2026. It shows Victoria Newman going to war. Sienna Bacall overhears a conversation. Also, Nick Newman has a plan for Matt Clark. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers. As the redhead stands in the office, Kane talks about what is next. The tycoon declares that they basically have Newman Enterprises and its subsidiaries. Then, he adds that they just have to take control of the company. However, Kane and Phyllis' conversation is interrupted. Victoria comes roaring in there on a mission. The woman declares that they will take control over her dead body. Over at Sharon Newman's place, Nick and Noah Newman discuss the problem in the trunk. Nick made a deal with Jack Abbott and Keelik Abbott. Nick was right that Jack is too moral to let Matt go loose. Now Nick has the man in the trunk of his car. However, Nick ended up running into Noah. In a preview clip, Nick tries to tell his son not to worry about it. However, Noah says, "Dad, Matt Clark is unconscious in the trunk of your car. Of course, I'm going to worry about it." The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of January 19th reveal that Nick tells Noah that Matt needs to disappear. Then, Nick adds that there is nobody who is going to talk him out of it. This must be the big secret that Nick keeps from Sharon. While Nick says that Matt needs to disappear, it seems that killing him would be too easy. Will Nick try to hold Matt hostage, as Victor Newman did with Jordan? I know Nick isn't well, but he does have a rather deranged look in his eyes. However, Nick and Noah are not alone. Sienna listens from nearby. Now, what will she do with the information? As for Jack, he has a confrontation with Billy Abbott. The younger man says he's not taking advantage of anyone. However, Jack sees the situation totally differently. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of January 19th, 2026? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next.